Hi, so welcome to Golf FM, and as you can see, I've just had a delivery from Taylormade. This looks like it's the new Qi35 arrived, so let's just have a wee look in here and then get on with testing it. Wee bit annoying, I was just about to have my lunch and this came through the door, but it is quite a nice thing when all this stuff comes in, so not too much to complain about. Massive box. Let's have a look. Nice box actually. Get that out of there. Right, so where's a driver? That's the main thing. Stuff the 3 woods, nobody cares about that. Driver's what you're bothered about, isn't it? I've got to stay on my knees here, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm apologising to you for, it's me it's on my knees. Oh, look at that knife. Vicious. I bought that thinking it was just a Stanley blade. Like, I bought it thinking it was that. Right, and then it took me about 2 weeks. I realised, oh, what's this bit on the side? Massive killer. Oh Jesus! Stabbed it in the box. Massive sort of killer blade in there. It was legal. I bought it just in B&Q, so it's not like it's, you know, I got it from some sort of specialist knife shop or anything. Anyway, so let's have a look at this. So ripping open this. Oh, what are the covers like? Have I seen the covers? I can't remember. Most important thing, what are the covers like? Oh, silvery. So last year's was white, and that obviously gets messy. Silvery. Look at that. I quite like that. A little bit of green accent on there. Tiny bit of green, and a tiny bit of green on the club as well. Not very much. Oh, it's tiny bits of green. But there you go. I'm showing myself. Should be showing you. I'm not getting to see it otherwise. So, there you go, look at that. Probably seen it a million times already because Ricky Shields and all that lot have already done the reviews because they get them well before I ever get them. I'm actually most interested to see how it goes up against the driver I'm using at the moment, which was the standard Qi10, and see how that goes. So we've got that one's the Qi35 standard. How does that look to me? Nice, yeah. This actually has the look that the Max had last year, that the 10K one had, a slightly rounder profile, and the standard one last year that I'm using actually looks a bit more like the LS version this year, and I'm too low spin to use the LS version, so I'll have to, if I'm using one of these, it'll have to be this wee dumpy round one. Let's have a look what else we've got in here. So we've got rescues. Let's have a look at that. What a shambles of opening session. This is just ripping them open. They usually take a bit longer, but I'm conscious of your time. So that's the rescue. And these are all adjustable for loft now, which they didn't used to be. It used to just be the sort of Better Players one that they did that with. So now they've all adjustable for loft, which is good actually. That helps for selling them and trying them. It helps a lot. So that's a stiff 3. What does that look like? Nice. Yeah, it's still got the Ventus sort of blue shaft. It's got a sort of matte finish now. It was shiny last year. It's kind of smooth and matte, but it looks nice. Perfectly nice. And let's get a fairway out, just have a quick look at. So this is a stiff 3 wood. Again with that Ventus blue shaft on it there. See what you think of that. We'll get a proper look at them. I'll get some other shots of it for you and then we'll hit them and see what I think. Yeah, nice sort of grey, lightish grey finish. Very smart indeed. Okay, so we'll get on with the testing now. So here we are about to test them, and I've got my driver, which is Qi10 standard one from last year. I've got that set at about, I've actually got it set at 10.5. I was mucking about the loft a wee bit, and I've got a Diamana 60S shaft in it. I've actually only been given the Max Lite head so far. There must be another parcel coming, or failing that, they've been nicked en route. But I've got 3 other heads coming, the LS, the standard one, and what's the other one? Plus the Max, just the Max as well. Yeah, there is another one coming. So the Max Lite is not supposed to be for me. It's supposed to be that the whole package in the Max Lite is designed for slow swing speeds, and it's a apparently 35 grams in total lighter than the standard one. But I think that's including the shaft that they put in it, which is lighter, and also the grip. I'm not actually sure the head itself is actually any lighter. So I'm hitting this with a Cypher 50 6.0, so it's a stiff, but it's a high mid trajectory shaft. And this has also got a standard grip on it. So this isn't really the max light as it would normally be used. But because it's the only driver head that's arrived and I'm eager to have a hit with the new Qi35 and see what it's like, I've got this all set up. So lots of technology in this, which you will have to watch other videos to find out about because I can't be bothered telling you. It would just be so long, the video, if we talk about the ins and outs of all the technology. Yes, they have given it their all. They've still got existing technology like twist face and the speed slot. They've mucked about with the center of gravity. They thought it was getting too high in the club face. They brought it back down again, so they're all really pleased with themselves with that. Rick Shields apparently thinks it's a little bit too low spinning, some of the drivers in this, and that people are going to have to loft up to get the correct spin numbers that we want. But I haven't tested it, so I'm not completely sure. I've got this set roughly to the same level as the driver I use at the moment. So I'll hit the Qi35 first and then put it against the Qi10. Right. So in terms of looks, when I put it down, this head, it reminds me of the Qi10 Max in the last model, so the middle one, the one with the 10k inertia. It looks quite rounded in terms of shape. I've got this set, it's a 12 down to about 10.75, so it's slightly sitting open, so it actually looks fine to me because I quite like it to look a little bit open. I don't like it looking closed. So in terms of like the way it sits now, it's really nice. It is a little bit fatter and dumpier and rounder than I would normally go for. I like the slightly sleeker look, it's slightly more tapered, but that's just me. In terms of like the finish, I quite like it. A little bit of grey sort of around the back of it, and this sort of matte carbon sort of look to the top. It's perfectly nice. I don't think it looks world beating or anything, and it's not like radical. It's not anything massively different to what you might have seen before. It could have been a driver that was out a few years ago looking at the top of it. As I say, it doesn't look anything incredibly new. The bottom of it, again, perfectly nice, but not particularly radical in any way. Not like, wow, look at that. It's perfectly nice. If this suits me, I could quite happily use this driver, or one of them, one of the iterations of it. But I do like it. Personally, I like the shiny black polished look more than this. But again, looks are just in the eye of the beholder as always, and it's up to you what you like and what you don't like. So let's have a hit with it. A little bit hooky, but it's okay. It's quite a nice noise with this club. It's kind of quite responsive, 277, nothing to write home about. But it's actually, it's quite a nice responsive noise. It's not too woody or dull, which sometimes the worry was with the carbon face, which this has got still, that, you know, it might be dead sounding, but it doesn't. It's really quite responsive. That was a decent strike. It's going a little bit left. That's just me though. 281, not bad. Felt nice, nice noise. Although I wouldn't go by the noise in a fitting room environment necessarily. I think you need to hear it outside. You also need to see it outside as well, because the light on it is different. But definitely the sound in a fitting room normally, I just find they all sound quite similar. But this is at least sounding good in here. Seemed a decent hit. What's that gone? 258 in there, 284. If you're wondering club head speed and stuff like that, we'll do the figures at the end, but that was 105 mile an hour swing speed, 153 ball speed. Yeah, I think it was all right. We'll see. 261 in the air, 285, 108 mile an hour ball swing speed, 154 ball speed. Yeah, it's okay as well. It's feeling nice, perfectly nice. 276, the spin must have been a bit higher, 3,100. I'm capable of 162 miles an hour ball speed. I think it's the fastest I've ever done, but that's me thrashing the living daylights out of it. Nah, a bit hooky. 280 though, you can keep it in. Good, but I get left again. That's just me, as I say, nothing to do with the club. Oh, it was a decent hit though, 291, 263 in the air. I have seen a 300 with this. I had a wee sneaky go with it earlier. So maybe get that on camera. I doubt it, but we'll see. Nice and straight. Probably not my longest, I've had to guess. Yeah, 281, just a bit spinny. 3,100 spin, 105 mile an hour. Well, that's a higher launching one. That's got a chance of being a bit further, but I don't know if I got it right out the middle or not. 289, no. The spin was a bit high, 29, 16 launch, 110 mile an hour speed. So it was a good hit with the ball speed, 156, so it could have been better. That could have been a 300 if I got out the middle. I felt good. That's probably too hooky to be ultra long for me. Fall out there a bit quick. 284. Okay, so we'll leave it there. That's 10 hit. There's a couple of 270s in there, so 276, 277. I mean, that can happen. It's not that bad. So I'll try and be as honest with this one as I can. I won't suddenly keep all the really good ones in and somehow make out that the old one's better than the new one. I'll just hit it and it is what it is. So in terms of looks, I prefer the shape of this. The finish is obviously a polished black finish. It's not looking as unbelievably better as I thought I was going to think it did to that. So I mean, I could quite happily live with that carbon grey effect. It's not bad. I do like the shape of this. It's a little bit more elongated at the back and looks good at the bottom. Yeah, nice driver. Only used this for the latter end of the year. I used the Cobra dark speed to start with and it was fine. It was really good, but then I just thought I'll have a change of something different. It's very tempting when you work in this business just to keep changing things all the time, but I try not to too much, but I ended up using this at the back end of the year. But I quite like it, quite comfortable with it. So let's see how we get on with this. That felt good. A bit fadey. 285, 262 in the air. Quite high spin for how far it went, so I could get more out of it. In terms of feel, slightly more metallic-y sound in this one maybe. Not a lot in it actually, not a lot in the sound. Another fadey one. 284 though, up the middle. 2.7 outside swing path, so I am swinging outside as though I'm hitting a fade, so let's try not do that. That's slightly more drawy. Decent hit again, 291. You can see this is already going to be better, but again, that might just be because it suits me better, this makeup of the shaft, this Diamana 60S and the head and the spin characteristics of that. But we'll see. Half decent, I think. 290 again, 265 in the air. Higher spin than I would want. 106 mile an hour. Swing speed 157, ball speed, so good figures, really not bad apart from the spin. Oh, a bit pushed, but that's on the inside. Not great accuracy, it has to be said. But it's still gone 291, pushed it off, 265, yeah. I actually just had the face wide open there. Wasn't actually my swing path. It's just lack of ability, really, is all that was down to. Keep it in because the figures were decent in terms of distance. Felt alright, but yeah, nice and straight. I'm not sure if it's an ultimate 300 yarder or anything. 286, 258, decent. Most of the guys on YouTube were carrying it further than this. It's depressing. Oh, but right, nearly slipped over there. Might be alright distance though, is it? Yeah, 290 or 261. It felt like an alright strike, that. Oh, I'd take that out in the course. It's only 285. Funny. Sometimes you think you've absolutely nailed it. Sometimes the lobby ones go a bit further. Probably alright, but a wee bit hooky maybe. I know it's going straight out the middle with a wee draw. Oh, look at that, 297. Didn't see that coming. 265 in the air. Quite low spin, but high launch. 106 mile an hour. Alright, but I think it'll be offline. Oh no, not too bad. A wee bit hooky. 288. And that's it, that's 20. So 10 each. So let's have a look at the figures. Okay, so figures. 154 ball speed to 155. 154 with the Qi35, so 1 mile an hour difference. And what was the swing speed? Oh, 106. Swing speed average to 105. So I can't blame the loss of 1 mile an hour on the fact that my batch was just swung at a better pace. It's so close though. I mean, it's actually not even worth bothering about 1 mile an hour. That could have just been the batch again. So I wouldn't get too excited about that. Launch 14, so that was the same. 2.7 on the backspin for the Qi35 and 2.5. Again, just could be down to strike. The minute you hit it slightly off and get a high spinny one, then the spinel. It was only 10. You know, I took a few out, so I maybe had 15 of each and whittled it down to the slightly better 10. So again, not a huge difference. Again, his max light head's a little bit different to the other one, so it might be that that Qi10 standard head was actually lower spin than the max light is, effectively, in the way that it's designed internally. So I'm not too surprised to see that. I mean, the max light's not exactly perfect club for me in terms of the head. Carry 257 on the batch to 262, 5 yards again. A little bit down to the fact that the other one might suit me a bit better, and 283 to 289 in terms of the total, so not too far off. But I wasn't expecting the max light head to suddenly be further than the one I've been using. You know, I get time to play around with clubs in here and get the right shaft and get the right loft, and so I knew that that Qi10 with that shaft in it and that loft setup was actually pretty well suited to me. And it was a little bit of a guess with the new shaft, that Cypher shaft in stiff with the max light head, which again isn't 100%. So it'll be interesting to see. I'll do the same test again once I get the other heads in and see which ones is the best for me and put it up against each other there. So yeah, inconclusive as I thought it might be, but still worth doing and good test to get a taste of what the new Qi35 is actually like. It sounds good, it looks good, and it should perform every bit as well as the last one, if not slightly better, because again, they don't bring these things out for no reason. Okay, they bring them out because the consumer demand is such that we've got to have something new. I mean, there is that, but they're testing these things on robots. They will be more forgiving, and that is the harder thing to quantify. Holding on to distance is really what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness is not always going to just suddenly bring the ball back to the target because the club doesn't know where the target is, but what it can do is minimize how much speed you lose when you hit it out of the toe or the heel. So every year they're getting slightly better at that. So anyway, as I say, I'll do some more testing with the other heads when they come in, and if you've got any questions in the meantime, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.